Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, the ERGP 2017 to 2020, and the Nigeria Vision 2020. Given the importance government attaches to planning, this was included amongst the presidential deliverables for the ministry. The ministry had successfully produced the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, which is the successor to the ERGP. The plan was approved and launched on the 21st of December 2021 by His Excellency and is currently being implemented. Today, Your Excellency, we have also completed another milestone by the production of the country's long-term plan, the Nigeria Agenda 2050. Council had, at its meeting held on March 15, 2023, considered and approved the plan for implementation using the instrumentality of the 6 numbers 5-year medium-term plans. It is instructive to note, Your Excellency, that the process for the preparation of the plan was not only participatory and consultative, but was inclusive, involving all critical stakeholders, such as ministries, departments, and agencies, 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, as well as the representatives of local government areas. Other stakeholders include the organized private sector, youth organizations, labor unions, traditional and religious institutions, major political parties, women organizations, people with special needs, and several others. Your Excellency, the Nigeria Agenda 2050 is formulated against the backdrop of subsisting economic and social challenges facing the country, including fragile and non-inclusive economic growth, insecurity, high population growth, limited concentric economic diversification, and low productivity. The plan is a long-term economic transformation blueprint designed to address these challenges. It reflects the philosophy of the current administration, which places high premium on consistent plan implementation to ensure enhanced economic growth that is not only sustainable and inclusive, but generates employment and reduces poverty. The broad perspective of the plan are to create a stable and predictable macroeconomic environment by adopting policies that raise domestic savings and investments, establish a solid foundation for concentric economic diversification, enable a vibrant, educated, and healthy population. These objectives are underpinned by 2 broad enablers, namely investing in economic and social infrastructure and service needed to alleviate poverty, and also promoting development opportunities across states to reduce regional economic disparities. The economic framework for Nigeria Agenda 2050 has both broad macroeconomic and sectoral outlooks and benefited from a benchmark exercise with selected middle-income countries that have already attained the level of economic and social development which Nigeria desires by 2050. The targets and indicators derived from the benchmarking exercise served as inputs into the dynamic, computable general equilibrium model used as the analytical model for the Agenda 2050 framework. In fact, the model projects an improved productive capital accumulation in both public and private sectors that could bring about a shift towards industries with high employment and job creation intensity. This, in effect, means that significant improvement will be made in the standard of living of the Nigerian people. With the expected improved capital accumulation, investments as a percentage of GDP is projected to increase from the current rate of 29.4% to 40.11% by the year 2050. The bulk of this investment is expected to be financed from the private sector. The total employment is also expected to rise to 203 46.41 million people in 2050 from the current 46.49 million people in 2020. This implies that unemployment will drop significantly to 6.3% in 2050 from the current rate of 33.3% as at 2020. The corollary to this number of people in poverty will also drop down to 2.1% by 2050. The targeted average GDP growth rate of 7% and a per capita income of $33,328 per annum from the current rate of $2,075 per annum, which will place Nigeria among the middle-income countries in the world. Your Excellency, let me, on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, and also on behalf of my brother, the Minister of State Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, the chairman of the co-chair of the steering committee, Mr. Atedo Peterside, as well as the Central Working Group and the technical working groups. Your Excellency, Dr. Sarah Alade is the chair of the Central Working Group, and I must, before you, Your Excellency, commend Dr. Sarah Alade for the excellent work she's done and the very hard work of all the team. I want to say, Your Excellency, we are all grateful, and we pray that the incoming administration will ensure continuity in the implementation of these plans. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that in March 2020, I approved the development of successor plans, both Nigeria's Vision 2020 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017-2020. The plans lapsed in December 2020. To give effect to this approval, I inaugurated the National Steering Committee in September 2020 under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, and a distinguished private sector operator, Mr. Adeto Peterside. The Steering Committee is the superintendent, the preparation of the Nigerian Agenda 2050 and the National Development Plan 21-25 to succeed the Nigerian Vision 2020 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017-2020, respectively. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at the inauguration, I charged the Steering Committee to prepare inclusive plans that would cover all shades of opinion and ensure even and balanced development, as well as put in place necessary legislations for continuous implementation of plans, even after the expiration of the tenure of successive administrations. This was achieved with the preparation of the Volume 3 of the National Development Plan that deals with legislative imperatives for identified binding constraints to plan implementation in Nigeria. It is instructive to inform Council and indeed all Nigerians that I had on December 22nd, 2021, launched the first of the 6 number 5-year medium-term plans, the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, that will be used to implement the long-term plan. Council also on 15th March 2023 approved the Nigerian Agenda 2050 that we are launching today. Accordingly, I among the National Steering Committee, led by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, and the Honorable Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Prince Clean Akande Abba, for delivering yet again on this important national assignment. The unveiling and public presentation of the Nigerian Agenda 2050 marks yet another milestone in the annals of history of our planning experience post-independence. It has also shown our administration's commitment to planning and plan implementation since we assumed office on May 29, 2015. The plan we are launching today has the vision of a dynamic, industrialized, and knowledge-based economy that generates inclusive and sustainable development for the country. The broad target is to ensure that Nigeria attains a per capita GDP of $33,328 United States dollars per annum, that will place her among the top middle-income economies in the world by 2050. I am confident that given the measures already in place for continuous plan implementation, successive administration will find this document useful in the delivery of electoral promises. On this note, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to formally